Good evening, all. I write a book series called The Autobiography of a Werewolf Hunter, and I promote it here with Whiskey with the Werewolf Hunter. Welcome to the Werewolf Bar, folks. I'm your host, Brian P. Easton, with our May edition of the show. Thanks for stopping by for just a little while tonight. To be honest, this month has just been so hectic that we only have a little bit of time to spend with you this evening. Kind of just a brief check-in with you. If you're a regular of the show here at the bar, you know that we like to kick things off with our Creature of the Night, which is almost always a whiskey of some kind, because that's the name of the show. But every once in a great while, we will stray from the path. And though I believe this is the first time that we have offered a bottle of rum as our Creature of the Night. This is One Barrel rum from Belize. This is going to be our Creature. Now, if you've read our books, especially book 3, of the lineage, you may remember that this is the very brand of rum that Sly and Marietta share in her tropical Belizean cabana. So when I saw it, I figured it had earned its place on the show, even if it wasn't whiskey. Now, I don't have a glass prepared tonight, so I'm just going to take a shot right out of the old bottle to you. I'm not a huge rum fan, but I do enjoy it every once in a while. And this tastes to me just as good as any I've tried, maybe even a little bit sweeter. Not sweet in the sense of, like a syrupy, sugary thing, but I mean, after all, rum is distilled from like molasses and sugar and things like that. So my palate for rum is considerably less developed than my taste for whiskey. Add a little cola to that, and we might be in business, though. All right, as of right now, the due date for the Audible version of Legends of the Werewolf Hunter Book 2 is May 27th, about a week and a half from now. Basil, Miles Booth, and myself have done our part, and of course, the contributing authors have done theirs. And now we're just waiting for the whole thing to be tied into a bow. I actually approved the final retail cover copy of the Audible version just like an hour ago. So once it's available, all 5 books in my series plus the 2 anthologies will be available in audiobook format. Well, as you may know by now, that my buddy Miles Booth from MB Press and his son have a YouTube channel called X and Z Horror Movie Reviews, where they share their takes on film from the perspectives of Gen X and Gen Z, respectively. We've been featuring their reviews for a few months now, but not all of them. So I encourage you to subscribe to their channel, and when we're done here, and then you can find that in the links down below. You'll find all our links down below. So tonight, X and Z are reviewing the movie Sinners.
This is X and Z Horror Movie Reviews. I'm X with your Gen X perspective.
I'm Z with your Gen Z perspective.
And tonight we're reviewing Sinners. We've been waiting for this one, and we were not disappointed. Sinners is an original story written and directed by Ryan Coogler, and wow, did he put everything into this. I'll start off right now by saying I usually have criticisms of writing in movies. This one, he did an amazing job. And there's a lot to talk about. There are going to be some spoilers in this review, just how it has to be to talk about this one. All right, we're going to start off with the fact that the title itself is reflective of everything in this movie. This is about sin, the cost of sinning, and the benefits of sinning. And it's portrayed equally. It's really something. Coogler has given us a story. A lot of people are saying it's a vampire movie. This is so much more than a vampire movie. This is about human nature. This is about the human condition. This is about how music affects all of us and is the overriding theme in the movie. And then he gets into vampires as a representation and an extension of the devil and the price that one pays if they go down the wrong road. I'm going to kick this over to Z because he's got some great things, some observations about this. What do you think?
This movie, I've never seen anything like it before. No movie I've seen compares to this one. It told an actual story, and it can't be broken down into 3 easy parts, beginning, middle, and not so easy. There's a lot to digest. There's a lot of layers, and watching it feels like I'm switching from a junk food diet to a really good diet. Fruits, vegetables, things like that. Like, it's a big difference. And and I honestly, I lost the perspective that good storytelling still exists, because all we're being given, Gen Z is being given, is slop. The movies, they're just not the same. Like, comparatively speaking, Sinners to any other movie that came out in 2025 so far, not the same. It's an actual story.
Yeah, I agree.
And the vampires, like you said, are just an extension of the story. It is not a vampire movie, and they're not going for shock value. They're not going for scares. It's not a horror movie, though maybe you find it scary, but it's
Well, it's
not
a horror
meant,
movie, but it's not.
It's
It's very much a horror movie.
but it's not the same. Like,
it's
when you
not-
think of horror movie, you're
There's no
thinking
jump scares. There's no silly
Michael,
stuff.
Michael Myers and stuff like that. So
There's a lot of homage paid to John Carpenter. I'll tell you that right now. We'll get into that.
what else do you have to say?
I think I've watched some of the other reviews. I always do. And I think a lot of people are really kind of trivializing what this movie is. And I think that they compare it to other movies, and they shouldn't. They just don't need to. I've heard a lot of people compare this to From Dusk Till Dawn. This is not that. This is a lot more Angel Heart than it is From Dusk Till Dawn, and there's a lot more story here. It's not a silly movie. It's not a goofy movie. This is a straightforward, very serious telling of something that is obviously deeply personal to Ryan Coogler, and every element in this story is well thought out, included in just the right place. And it is, like you said, it's a story. There are characters here. Man, the cast is out of this world. Who did you like?
I liked the twins, Smoke and Stack. I liked them. I liked the main character, Sammy. Very intriguing character. I liked everyone. I didn't have anyone I disliked.
Yeah, okay.
So all the characters.
Fair enough. So everybody knows that Michael B. Jordan plays the twins, Smoke and Stack, known as the Smokestack Twins. Miles Caton plays Sammy, the preacher boy, and he's the musical prodigy that is the primary antagonist in this movie that has to make the choice whether or not to sin. I'm going to tell you right now, when the movie is over, there's a mid-credits scene that shows you what his choices turned into in the end. And his older character is played by Buddy Guy, which is awesome. It's amazing. And don't leave the theater early. Okay.
Some people do that.
Some people, there's always the few that just don't know any better. But we're telling you now, hang out. It's cool. As far as the rest of the cast go, what an amazing cast. Delroy Lindo plays Slim. He's awesome, as he always is. Wunmi Masaku plays Annie, and she's wow, what a powerful character she plays. Just great. She's a root worker, which is a hoodoo term, conjure term, and a love interest to Smoke, and a very deep personal story there. She does an amazing job. Haley Steinfeld plays Mary. She does a really great job of portraying kind of a different angle as far as the focus on race in the movie goes. And she's not the only one that does that. Jack O'Connell plays the villain, Remick, and he also is representative of a different way to look at race in a really non-racial way. And I'll get to that. Let me give you the rest of the players here. Omar Miller plays Cornbread. He's awesome. Jamie Lawson plays Perline. She's awesome. And like I said, Buddy Guy wraps it up at the end with just an amazing cameo. All right. So race in this movie. What are we talking about here? This is set in the 1930s Jim Crow South. So naturally, it's going to be representative of that. This is about Delta blues music, and that the music is a character in the movie. And this is going to have a certain level of expectation for people, and it's not going to be met like that. All right. This is, again, a personal story about the actuality of life in that era and what was going on behind the scenes. Not a documentary style telling at all. Very entertaining, very character driven. But we've got some other things going on too. We have a huge Irish influence. And we have a particular set piece in the middle of the film where many different styles of music kind of converge all at once. This will make sense when you see it. And many different races, many different influences. And that's why I say this is about the human condition. I'm also going to say that a very cool, small part of this movie was when we meet the vampire at first, he's being hunted by Native Americans, by Choctaw tribesmen, warriors. And that was especially cool for me because, as a lot of folks know, our friend over at Whiskey with a Werewolf Hunter, Brian P. Easton, writes a Werewolf Hunter that has a lot of Native American influence and lore in it. So it's kind of cool to see that also in this movie. They're hunting vampires, different Native American tribe, but it was neat. Also expressing just the human angle, right? We're all in this together. And it's not to say that it doesn't show exactly what happened in the Jim Crow South, because it does. There's some Klan material there. There's the plight of being poor and only having music as an outlet, as something that adds some light to your life. And this is all just really well told. All right, I've gone on long enough. What did you think of the set pieces, of the scenes, the way that it was shot?
So even in the way that they did the camera angles and the way they shot certain scenes, they were still telling a story. Even when the characters weren't speaking, there were multiple scenes where you could piece together a deeper meaning just because of the way they filmed the movie. And
Yeah.
this happens the entire way throughout. It's not just in the middle, not just in the beginning. They do it the whole time. Every single character in this movie has depth. So there's not just a comic relief, and it's not stock characters.
It's not.
This is originality. This is a story. It's real. It's got soul. And some people are saying, reviewers and such, they're saying, this is the next step in vampires. This is going to be a franchise. Like, this is, it's just not what this is. It's not vampires. It's not all about vampires. It's not. It's about people. It's about soul. It's about music. It's about everything to do with people. It's about culture. Not a vampire movie. So I disagree with that. I think that this movie is so much more than that. And I don't think it needs a sequel. We don't need, Sinners 2.
No, I don't think
Definitely not.
It's not, it doesn't play that way at all.
Mm-mm.
It's not like that.
Nope.
I totally agree with you. I will say that the vampires in this movie are played very straightforward, as far as this is the vampire that exists in folklore. It's not meant to be a new twist on vampires.
They didn't try to make any fancy lore. Straight up did regular vampires. The ones you're used to, need an invite to get into, the household or the regiment or wherever. Classic vampire stuff.
Yeah. everything, they do it very well. I mean, they're great vampires, but everything in this movie is symbolism. So you talk about the vampires need an invitation to get in. Um, and the moral of the story there is don't let the vampires in. But also, there's a lot of attention paid to Sammy, Preacher Boy, and his father is a pastor in a church. And he begs his son not to let the music in. So it's a path to the devil. And sure enough, so the music, don't let that in. The vampires, don't let them in. And it all turns to pathways to the devil. And Remick, the head vampire, is an extension of the devil on earth. And just really well played. The language he uses, his arguments, and what he tries to do, amazing. They do a great job with it. Just straightforward, great vampires, but just a piece of this story.
They don't try and overdo it.
What other scenes did you like? What was memorable to you?
Well, the movie is 2 hours long, and they set up the whole club where everything goes down with vampires. The Club Juke is what it's called, and they set up this whole thing like they buy the property, the Smoke and Stack Twins. They buy the plot of land that it's taking place on, the building, of course, and they set it all up. They have all the characters introduced, and so all those scenes from the beginning are very memorable because they all tie in the end. All the characters actually do matter, and not having something just be so basic. I can't really wrap my head around it. I was ready to place this in like, maybe it's good, it'll go in one way or the other, but it goes in so many different ways, and it all converges in the end, and it's actually, driven
By story.
by story and soul. So,
Absolutely.
and I've said that for the third time now, so I think you've gotten the message, but that is the main point.
Yeah, that's true. As far as other scenes that are just going to blow people away, everything filmed in the Juke Joint, Club Juke, was just really cool. Very great lighting. You can feel it. It's awesome. So between the music and the camera work, wow, it's really good. And Ryan Coogler definitely puts a lot of symbolism in there. The whole idea that music transcends time and space. He does this visually, and it's just cool. So everything filmed in the Juke Joint is great. But even before that, the scenes of the brothers arriving back home was just done with beautiful sunrises. There was a beautiful sunset. It's Jim Crow era, so you know that there's going to be cotton involved. And what Coogler does is he takes us down dirt roads many times where there are just endless cotton fields on both sides. And I mean like endless, like it is cotton as far as you can see. It's a really powerful way to portray that. No way out. Everybody is poor. I'll tell you right now that this movie perfectly relates to our current world. So if you are struggling with the way things are going in any direction, especially economically, you're going to feel this movie. Okay. And
so that accounts for 99.8%
yeah,
of people.
everybody can relate to that. And how people deal with that is going to be very familiar to everybody watching. As far as other set pieces go, I definitely want to say there's one scene in particular that just really got me. The idea of music transcending time and space resulted in kind of the fabric of current reality burning down, because now you're in a different place, right? And they have a scene where everybody's inside the club and exactly the way that they would be, except the club has been reduced to burning piles here and there. And it's, what these people would be doing and are doing, except everything is already burnt down around them and they just kind of exist in space. But they do such a cool job of their they're dancing or guarding the door or what have you, like it's not burning down.
Yeah, everybody's acting like everything is normal.
Right. And they're doing a great job. And it's just very powerful. It's just very cool. Like Ryan Coogler really nails what he's trying to do here. The only other thing I would say is the music, which I said is a character. What'd you think of the music?
Well, I do love myself the blues. They are fabulous. And the music, I would have wanted more music, personally. The music, when there was music, it was good. It was good music, and I would have liked to hear more. But, there's that story and all, but the music was definitely a great part of the story, and it was fantastic.
I don't know how they could have put more in there. But.
And even when there wasn't, just blues, because they've got some, Irish music in there, and just like some Southern, like it's all kinds of different music, and it's all good. So it's not all, blues. It's all kinds of different, music, different culture, different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all good.
Interesting song choices, folk songs, Irish songs. You'll see, very intentionally chosen as well. There's significance to everything in this movie, everything. So, I think that's a thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely an A+.
A recommendation without hesitation.
Bingo.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's our review for Sinners. I'm X with your Gen X perspective.
I'm Z with your Gen Z perspective.
We appreciate you watching.
More than a vampire movie, more than a horror movie, Sinners is one of those rare genre-defying pieces that's more than the sum of its parts. Horror film, period piece, musical to the extent that the Delta blues and Gaelic tunes create their own separate characters. Gangster movie with historical realism and cultural significance to the 1930s South. Mississippi, I believe, is the state where it takes place. Now, my only concern for this movie going in was the fact that Michael Jordan was going to be playing twins. Because if that doesn't come off correctly, it can be distracting at best, cheap looking at worst. But the Smokestack Brothers in the movie, played by Michael Jordan, were played so well and so differently that 10 minutes into the movie, I almost forgot that they was the same actor portraying them. So it's just one of the best movies I've seen in a long time, and I'm glad X and Z thought so too. Thanks, guys, for letting me share your review. And I'm afraid that's all we have time for tonight. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. We'll see you back here next month, and we'll make it up to you then. Both Tex and Doc have something pretty interesting in the works, and I'm excited to bring them to you when we next meet again in June. Until then, let me ask you to like and subscribe, remind you to check out our links in the description below, and wish you happy hunting and mind the moon.